Okay. Dave Grohl cheated on his wife. Um, I'm 3 weeks into college. I just got over a bout of COVID. Yeah, it was pretty bad. That was pretty terrible. Let's talk. So, let me start this off by saying I had some microphone issues. I'm doing the bare minimum, and somehow I think I might have hit like a button or something. Hold on, like nope, it wasn't that. I didn't hit that. I don't know what happened, but all that matters is I'm here now. Uh, so far college is menial. It's pretty easy stuff so far. I've got some like psychology stuff about neural priming and myelination and whatnot, and remembering the parts of a neuron, which I did because I like biology and everything. I had like I already knew some stuff about like axons and somas, but I didn't know about the I think it's called the dendritis or the dendrita or something, where it's like named after the branches of a tree, and how they connect to the axon terminus and or terminal axons or whatever. All the Latin gets jumbled in my head using the various Latin cases. So, I say axon terminus. The terminal axis, or not terminal axis, the terminal axon, where the end of the axon. Where it connects to the dendritum. Um, so yeah, apologies for my vote. Like this happens with dinosaur names too, where like I get it all confused with the actual Latin. But that being said, yeah, college is pretty good so far. I tried to be interactive in the social scene for the first week. I talked to some girls and not even just girls. I talked to some people. The reason I mention girls is well, I do fall into the bisexuality, sexuality spectrum. Um, I, I've always been more attracted to women. I mean, it's like if it was a choice, then I feel like that would be the obvious choice. Women are the more finely crafted of the two inherent birth genders, or the, you know, excluding intersex, of course. Uh, intersex is a different case. So I feel like every intersex case is different, so you can't really qualify it as people really. I think they opt for one or the other. I don't know very much about intersex. I could be wrong, but as far as men and women go, women are definitely the more finer crafted of the two. There are a lot of really good looking guys out there. Anyways, what I was saying though is, like, yeah, people are mostly the same, and it's really awkward for me to talk to people, and a lot of the girls, like, they talk to me for like a day or so and then block me. It's like they act the same as they did in high school, and it's so fucking ridiculous to me that people are like that. And I understand I'm not um you know like I'm not a high value male. I'm not the best to look at, and um I'm really socially awkward and everything. So I mean, it's definitely cool that they don't, like, desire me, right? Like, I totally get it. But I wish that was made, like, a little more clear, that they were just looking for friends or whatever. It'd be nice. It's a nice little courtesy. Like, I try to do that, but what? Oh Christ! Whatever the case may be. Oh God. Oh, it's 10:33. Usually I'm in bed by 12. I try to wake up at like 8. Um, but that being said, I got a lot of really nice things with my college refund money, and I accidentally blew most of it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get a job here soon. I'll probably get a campus job. I'm not really worried about it. Like, I feel like I could spread like 100. I think I have like 140 something left out of the original, like almost 5,000. It's bad, but um, yeah. I feel like I could spread what's left over the next, you know, 3 months. It'd suck, but I'll definitely end up getting a job, especially one near like Thanksgiving break there. And at the end of the day, what really matters is, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I got into a fight with my brother the other day, and I mean that dragged me down. But I mean, I mostly get to function as myself. Like, of course, classes impede my free time, but I already had too much free time in the first place, and then I mean, I do a lot of writing in the first place. Now I just have shit to write about, and I have things to like occupy my time, and I mostly do the same things. I've been playing a lot more video games lately, and doing a lot of guitar practicing. Hanging out with my friend. Yeah, I did. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, but I've been hanging out with my one ex coworker. He's a really cool dude. Um, we get into discussions about religion a lot, and I think that's really cool. You know, um, I don't know. I wouldn't say I believe in God, but I think all the Christianity stuff is really cool, and I do identify and I try to sympathize because I used to be a Christian, and like when we talk, I do try to sympathize with the whole Christianity thing, and like when I talk to him about Christianity, like I do kind of enter those shoes where it's like I get to be a believer, and like my thing is I don't have a resentment for God. I just don't accept that there is one with the current state of the world. I need a sign that God exists, and if there is a God, I feel like that's what a lot of people do wrong. If there is a God, that they try to achieve ultimate power over other people, where like I don't think that's right. Like, I understand having authority, but the thing about authority is authority is I don't know. Authority is tricky because like if you have the ability to, order someone to do something, you need to do it in a way where like it's ethical, or it doesn't demean the practice of another person. That's why I don't understand the whole pay scheme management, where like managers get paid so much more than crew workers, and crew workers a lot of the times are some of the hardest working people. And like a lot of these people chase power. Like when I worked at Little Caesars, I was pretty much set to be a manager. I was probably in line. I pretty much knew how to do everything for the most part. I was willing to, but my thing was like I didn't want to be a manager for power. I wanted to show that I was dependable, and like I never thought of it until like I had problems with women where I used to work. Let me rephrase that. With managers, they just happened to be women. Over the course of however much time, they had this problem where they had you know acquired a lust for power and a lust to exert this power, and I never will identify with that. That's why like I'm going for a degree to become a teacher, where I mean, yes, I'll have a boss, but I'll be given authority, but that authority is so limited because of what teachers are allowed to do, and I know I wouldn't breach any of those. Like, for me, someone with my characteristics, like my sense of humor is very rugged. I make jokes about taboo topics. You know, I make jokes that have edge to them, and I make jokes that aren't really necessarily always appropriate for a social setting, but I know when to shut that off. And like my personality, I want to like when I'm teaching, I want to see to it that I provide a good example as someone, because a majority of people that are in high school are people, or at least they come into high school, they're people like me, right? They are socially awkward, trying to find their place. Now, is that true for everybody? No, not necessarily, but I mean, it's definitely true of a lot of people, or at least in my area, that's what it was like. I look back now and I see just people, and I think that's why I got along with the popular kids for the most part, is because I mean, I wasn't so indifferent to them. They did different things, like they did football, they did basketball, but aside from the people that outwardly disliked me, which by the time my senior year had rolled around, um, was a lot of people, and um, as it stands, like I think that there needs to be less shying away from teenagers being teenagers. Like we need to reinforce, good morals and good ideals. Like we should give teenagers we should give teenagers shit to look forward to in the future instead of guaranteeing them this miserable existence. Because what I did when I saw a glimpse of my future there when I was working at Little Caesars, being 40 plus, working at the same place I've been working at since I was a teenager with no real chance of going forward. Like when I see that, that's something that's intensely scary to me. Not because I'm afraid of dedication, which I mean I do have some commitment issues that I hope I can shake off when I start getting into routines, but um like I was so afraid of doing something revolving a place I didn't really care for all that much, doing something I didn't really care for, because I don't really, I mean I like pizza, and I think most Americans like eating pizza, but like I don't care about the product. I cared about quality and I cared about my customers, but like I don't care about like the ethos of the company, minus law breaking things. Like I made sure everything was in food safety order and making sure to never like actually touch the food with my hands and whatnot, and making sure food was tempting, all that shit. But as for all that, like that only goes so far. Whereas if you have a passion for customer service, you're gonna be constantly at the top of your game trying to move forward in your career. And I was trying to move forward in my career, but only to a certain extent. Like I wasn't trying to be like a store manager or a trainer or whatever. I wanted to be entrusted with like I wanted to be entrusted with the store because I know I was trustworthy, but I didn't want to exert my power over everybody or over anybody else or try to appear better. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully in the future I can land myself doing something, I enjoy. Yeah, I got my advisor. I think I'm gonna talk to him soon. He seems. I actually don't know anything about him. I was gonna say he seems cool, but I've actually never met the guy. So, hopefully he's cool. I I had strong sympathies towards the idea of majoring in a science, or not science, in psychology, but I think I'm going to major in a science of some sorts. Just probably not psychology, maybe neurology. I might do. No, no, I won't, because I don't care about the brain. I don't care about psychology. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe neurology. I don't know. Like, all this talk about minoring in a biology of sorts, it makes me just want to be a doctor, and that's dangerous because if I get those ideas in my head, I'm gonna be down a very long path. But I mean, at the end of it, I'd be a doctor. No, no questions asked there. I'd definitely be a doctor. But I mean, there's a lot of ladder climbing you have to do there, and then getting certified in diagnostics and publishing, and I wouldn't mind getting like certified in diagnostics or publishing. It's the whole taking care of customers, or not taking care of customers, taking care of patients in a way that's adequate. And I mean, health in the United States is a big capitalist market right now, and good doctors are few and far between. And I don't want to contribute to this capitalist like price gouging shit that happens, with insulin and various things like that. So yeah, I don't really want to contribute to that right now. Um, I could do anthropology. I thought about that. I would have done history, but I've learned everything I want to learn about history. Everything else would be purely auxiliary or maybe something new, and that would be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And most importantly, I want to do something that isn't useless. Um, I've been looking at uh, cinema and music, but with an English major, or oh god, oh excuse me, looking at an English education major with a a minor in cinema or radio or whatever, you know, like that's so useless. But um, yeah, I don't know. The Spanish professor, he has I think he has a master's in linguistics. So I think I could get into a pupil program. I just have to meet him and get on his good side, which is for me usually the hard part. I don't want to rub him the wrong way. My literature professor, he's phenomenal. He's incredible actually. I'm so very glad that I'm so very glad that I met him because yeah, he lived in Korea for a while. He's pretty cool. Um, but he likes linguistics and all that, and he's the one that actually advised me to talk to the Spanish professor. And the Spanish courses were full, but I mean I already speak Spanish to a pretty extensive, margin. I'm able to converse pretty fluently. You know, I gotta practice more though. I gotta practice more with all my languages, and now that I'm in an environment where there was this girl that walked by. She was speaking Russian. She was talking about a conversation she was having with her friend in Russian. And I recognized it, and I thought that was so weird because that never happens with Russian. Like usually I'm fumbling through conversations in Russian, but no, I understood her perfectly fine. That was very cool. Um, so far in all of my classes, I'm the only German speaker, but I know there's people from Germany on campus, so I have to meet them at some point. Um, when I was sitting down at a table the one day, one of the outside picnic tables in the no man's land between all the buildings on campus, there were these girls that walked by. I think they were speaking German. I didn't catch what they were saying. I was looking at something on my phone. They walked past me, and the girl had said something, and given her tone and like how she was speaking, and like I said, I didn't catch the words, but how she was speaking and her enunciation of consonants, I think I'm pretty sure it was either that or some variant of Western Dutch. So probably, damn it, where were the Dutch colonies? I know there was one like in Guyana, but Suriname, was it Suriname that used to be a Dutch colony? Because I know there's French Guiana, and there's French Guiana, and then there's Guyana, and I think Suriname was the Dutch colony. So yeah, but they didn't look like they were from that region of the world. So I'm pretty certain it was German. And plus they were extremely, they had my skin pigment. They were extremely white. Um, so I think they were northern Central European. But yeah, and I don't think we have any Polish students, so I don't. Well, not that I would ever mistake German for Polish. Whatever, right? Um, yeah, I would never mistake German for Polish. I know exactly what German sounds like for the most part. But there are so many varieties of German that it's hard for me to like. The only German I've ever heard like actually spoken in person was choppy German spoken by this girl I was talking to. Her mother was born in Berlin, and then the Pennsylvania Dutch. And then there was I think it's Zweite It Suisse. What is the German word for Switzerland? That's a good question. I don't remember the word for Swiss German in German. That's weird. But yeah, I think it might be Zweite. Um, but this guy, he lived in I think it was Bern or Zurich for a while, and he and I spoke German. His German was very strange, but it was good. Uh, I like to think of my own as the same. I At that point, his German was definitely better than mine. Um, I don't know about now. I don't know how often. It'd be completely hypothetical, and I use my German pretty much every day. Just like in minor injections, like I make a point to at least read something in German every day, or check something out. And I follow a lot of German Instagram pages, so shit comes up on my page, and I can. It's so weird the transition your brain makes from being like a nervous learner to being like a confident learner. And I mean, it's been that way for a couple of years now. First it happened. First it happened in Spanish, and then it happened in German because I realized it happened in Spanish, and I realized it could have happened in general. So I made a point there. And as far as reading goes, French, like pretty much at the same time that I had finished my the main section, the real meat and potatoes of my German learning. I had been reading French, and yeah, it didn't take long at all because English, a lot, like a big portion borrows from French. But yeah, so there's always that, and then you know what follows: Portuguese, Italian, and then um I think I'm there with Dutch. I would have to read something in Dutch. I think I did that in a video not too long ago. But like not even reading it out loud, it's where you read words and you're confident, you know what they mean. So like I don't know if I got that point across or not, but like actually reading, I could probably do it in Spanish and German pretty well. Swedish, maybe French, Italian, Portuguese. I feel like I'm forgetting something important. English, obviously. Welsh, I could actually read um, the words aloud. And then, yeah, maybe some others, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna talk to the Spanish professor. Um, a lot of people are not as I thought they would be. I thought people would have more refined tastes and whatnot. There's a guy wearing a Coheed shirt. I thought that was pretty cool. There's a guy wearing a Smashing Pumpkins Zeitgeist shirt. That was weird. Of all the Smashing Pumpkins albums in my small ass area, I would think to be represented. I did not think Zeitgeist would be the one. But Zeitgeist, he was wearing a Zeitgeist shirt. That was pretty fucking cool. It was a Zeitgeist tour shirt, actually. I think. Um, yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of band shirts. Like, yeah, all bands I've listened to a lot of their music. When I say a lot of their music, I mean like 3 or more albums. I don't mean grand portion because there's a girl wearing a Johnny Cash shirt, and I've listened to like a good sum of his music, but I haven't listened to a good portion because he has a lot of music. I listen to a lot of his early cowboy ballads and whatnot. Same with Marty Robbins and whatnot. I was actually talking to this guy. He made a pretty popular um, Spotify playlist called Tasty Tunes. I might link it if I remember. But he and we were just talking. We were just chewing the fat, talking about like production and Doom albums and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I think we might have talked about Title Fight or something. I don't know, but he's like me, uh like he has a pretty good taste in music. Like he's listened to like a lot of things. He's listened to a lot of music, but he doesn't shy away from popular music. Like I think on the playlist it was his idea to put the Imagine Dragons on there, and like as someone that really likes music and I really like Imagine Dragons like first 4 albums, I like Origins and fucking Evolve and Smoke and Mirrors and Night Visions there and their early EPs. Like I'm it's so rare for me to find people that actually like them as a band because they're so despised by the media, even though Dan Reynolds is a cool dude. And that's just a breath of relief for me. So but I knew him before, so I guess that doesn't really count. I haven't really met anybody at. I haven't really met anybody at the college. I have some people on Snapchat. Like, I have a chick from my. That was me grabbing my phone. I have this chick from, my, uh, psychology class, which, I mean, she's cool. I just don't talk to her much, and, I mean, that's that. You know, I'm not really mourning the death of, uh, not really mourning the death of my social life anymore. It is what it is. You know, if I meet someone with interest, like, people have had conversations with me about things because, um, my literature professor threw something up in Korean. It's one of the few things, or it's one of the only things, like, I knew how to. I know probably, no probably, I know probably 2 to 300 Korean words. You know, a very small vocabulary. Like, I'll probably use. It probably isn't that much. I'm trying to think of what a small vocabulary is, because I know it's more than 100, but it's less than like 750. So I'm trying to give myself a good estimate without being on the high end, but it's probably honestly less than like 300. Anyway, it was I am a professor of English and Korean, and like I didn't read it aloud, but yeah, I was going to. And this kid had talked to me about living in Korea and whatnot, so that was a nice conversation I actually had. But other than talking about living in Korea, he had no interest in talking to me, and I'm starting to realize people are like that, and that's totally cool. You know, people aren't interested in the same things I am, and that's all right. I'm sure I'll find someone that is. There is a German club at my university though, so I might attend that. But my thing is, I know the people that are gonna be there are gonna be people that have been learning German for a while, but I'll never learn if I'm not around people that know more. Like, if I if I out of insecurity, which I'm not really linguistically insecure anymore, I have confidence in what I can do, and I try not to overplay what I can do. Um, so yeah, these people who have way more experience than me, I can't be afraid of fucking up. I can't be afraid of fucking up, so I need to go there and I need to mess up and I need to be corrected, and I need to embrace my own sense of lingualism, like saying things the way I do and keeping my personality or not music wise, linguistics wise. There are things about me that I try to remain true to in all languages. I try to speak phonetically, or I try to maintain this same speech conventions and whatnot, same tone, same smoothness. But it's hard when you switch languages and it's not your native language. So I'll be building on those skills, and then of course there's the study abroad program. I talked to the nice Romanian lady that heads that little department there, and yeah, I need like 24 credits or something, which I'll already have by the end of this semester. So I mean, I'll probably be off to Germany, and uh yeah, I'll be living a dream that I've wanted to have, or I've wanted to fulfill for a long time, and that's really awesome. I don't know in my current state that I could hold a job in Germany using just German as a primary like speaking source. Uh, I think I could do it. I could do it in the future, or I could do it just generally, but as it stands, as it is right now, I don't know I could do it, but like we'll definitely see. So, and I'll definitely document all this. I'll probably record those future episodes where I'm in Germany. I'll probably record those, on my phone, so it'll be a different format and whatnot. So, I mean, it's really awesome stuff, man. I'm really, oh, looking forward to it. But, yeah, I finished my game collection. I don't know if I brought this up. No, have I had an episode since I started college? I, I don't know. Well, I got my refund before I started college, so it's very likely that I talked about it, but in case I didn't, I'll bring this up. Um, I finished my game collection. Uh, I have some pretty cool things now, that I didn't have before. I finished my Mass Effect collection. I finished my Gears of War collection. I've been playing War Thunder more. I've been playing oh Christ Almighty. I've been playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. It's a good time. But yeah, college is going well. Things are going well. That's all I had to say. 30 minutes of chirping. That's what I got out of that. Um, I'll try to keep all my ducks in a row here, post another episode in like a week or so. But until then, thank you for listening. I'm Evan. See you later.